Jordan, and I'm very glad to have the chance of making an interview with you, Rosa Parks. First of all, could you please tell us something about your childhood? Yes, of course. I am happy to talk to you. Well, I was born in Alabama on February 4th in 1913. I grew up with my mother who worked as a teacher, my brother and my grandparents. My father had left the family when I was 2 years old. Okay, what about your time at school? Well, I started going to school at the age of 11. Before that time I was educated by my mom. I attended Montgomery Industrial School for Girls and then Booker T. Washington High School. These were schools just for black students. After school I started to work as a tailor, making and repairing clothes. And in 1932 I married. My husband was Raymond Parks, who worked as a hairdresser. Okay, how did you feel at that time? Well, times were not easy for black people in the USA in that time. Many laws discriminated them. It was not easy to find a good job. They were separated at schools, restaurants, churches, bus stops and many other places. And we were treated very unfriendly by most white people, not all. Especially in the south of the USA we were called niggers, and this was not nice for us. But my husband and me were very interested in politics and looking for ways to improve this system. The most important thing we wanted to achieve was the right to vote. And so I worked as a secretary for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, an organization which tried to help black people. So I had 2 jobs at the same time, and I often was very tired, of course. Okay, I understand. So, and what happened in the bus in 1955? The buses were also separated, but not completely. There were 4 rows reserved at the front for whites, which often remained empty but were not allowed to be used by the African American passengers. The rear part reserved for black people was usually overcrowded. Bus No. 2857, in which I was arrested after a long day coming home from work, was very full on that day, but I had got a seat. It was on the 1st of December 1955. A white passenger demanded the evacuation of the reserved row of seats in which I was sitting. The rest of the people cleared the place, but I refused because I did not want to stand for the rest of the journey. The bus driver, James Blake, then called the police and insisted on my arrest. So I was arrested, charged and fined $10 and ordered to pay a fine of $10 and $4 in court costs. Okay, and what happened after this? Well, after people of the community had heard what had happened, they started to make a bus boycott. They refused to take the bus for a long time. Hayshard cars, used bikes, went by foot or even by horses and donkeys to go to work. The bus companies lost a lot of money and had to fire some of the bus drivers. It was a very serious situation. The bus boycott lasted more than a year, exactly 381 days, and then the laws were changed and there were no separated areas in the buses and trains anymore. Everybody had the right to sit on any place. Of course, this was just a small victory, but it was the beginning. Within the next years, many people such as Martin Luther King or Malcolm X were fighting for the end of segregation and discrimination, for the right to vote, to go to the same schools and universities for all races and so on. Thanks a lot, Rosa Parks. We hope that there will be a time when there is no difference between races, no racism in the world anymore.